Hey guys, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today I'm here with a friend of mine. This is Ethan Peterson. Peterson Snake Removal, which is a little local company here that he started, and he got his special license where he can remove and deal with problem wildlife. And obviously, since it's snake removal, you can see what he likes to do. The cool thing about Peterson Snake Removal, and this is not an advertisement for him, but kind of going to sound like that for a minute, is he doesn't go there and kill snakes. That's why I like this guy. It's more going to go catch and relocate. So he does a lot of snake relocation and things like that. Have you ever had to kill one?
No. No, I have not.
That's exactly what we like to hear. And one of the neat things is he called me up one day and he said, "Hey, man, I got something you may want, and if you want it, I'll just give it to you." And what that was he had a prairie rattlesnake. And prairie rattlesnakes are native here in Kansas, but we didn't have one of our own. And we like to keep all those native species so we can show them to people. So he brought us this native prairie rattlesnake that he caught west of Salina, right?
It was in Ransom, Kansas.
Which is west of Salina?
Yes,
okay, west of Salina. Because where we're at is not prairie neighborhood, but if you go a few hours west of here, you start running into them. So it's right here in my bucket of bad things. So we'll open that up, let camera guy Kurt get in there and take a nice view of it. Hey, get down in there. It's a pretty long prairie. It's going to try to crawl out and say hi to me. Get in there, cutie. Now, this prairie is really, really old. And some of the ways we can tell that is if you look at the rattle on it, it's a very long rattle for a prairie. And it's also still very blunt on the end. And what that means is that rattle's been broken. It's not a complete rattle. So we know that that's not the full length of the rattle. Get in there. Why are you going to be this way? Get in the bucket. And so we know that this thing has been broken before. And they get one new length every time they shed. Watch yourself there, camera guy Kurt. Don't get too close. And so he brought us this thing, and this was ancient. When we first got it, it had a little trouble adjusting and feeding. It also had a big abscess on its face. So we had to cut the abscess off, and you can see a little scar tissue still in the nose. But it healed up quite nice. It took a few meals for us, but not a lot, and was kind of worried about it. Then I came in one day, I opened its tub, and it was like the scariest Christmas ever. Because when I opened its tub, what to my wondering eyes did appear? Well, it wasn't Santa and 8 tiny reindeer, but it was this guy right here, along with 2 other siblings. One of them didn't make it, but this one seems to be doing okay. This is the largest one, and this was a baby prairie rattlesnake. Now, we didn't breed this thing. We happened to get it gravid, and it had a really small clutch with 3 live babies. We had also about, I think it was 8 infertile sacs that it laid. So, you know, but for its age, I was pretty excited. These are actually the first baby rattlesnakes we've had, and we had them on complete accident. So it's been kind of neat to watch these guys grow. Again, this is the largest one. It's doing pretty good. It eats pretty well. It's refused on me a couple times, but for the most part it does good. Now when these little babies are born, let me get a smaller hook. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? I got something really cool to show you that just happened. Let me put the lid on this, because this is something that's just, it's going to blow your mind. Kurt, show this rack over here for a second. This is our venom rack, okay? This one's empty, all right? That's what the prairie usually lives in. All the rest of these contain rattlesnakes that are all sealed up. Now, one of these just struck at me when I was getting my small hook. I heard it hit the plastic, no big scary thing, but it struck pretty high. If we look, we could probably find which one it was. And it blew venom all over my fingers. See that? That's what that shit is right there. Pardon my language, that's venom. It's sticky. See that yellow color? That's enough to kill me, guys. Right there. If that was in my bloodstream, we'd be having a serious damn problem right now. Now, this stuff will not hurt you unless it gets in your blood. So that's why I'm not freaking out, or you don't see a big wet spot in the front of my pants. But right there, that's how quick they strike. And let's see if we can tell which one that was. And what I'm looking for is, I bet there's going to be some wet spots. I figured it was you, because you're a jerk face. Also on the plastic somewhere. That was really, really strange. And it's sticky. I can feel it congealing and getting sticky. You can see almost that kind of amber color in it. When we came and we inspected the rack, and we got something to show you, we figured out which snake it was that gave me, I guess, a venom baptism, if you wanted to say. on the outside. Thank God it wasn't on my insides. And it was actually this caramel het black, possibly het albino female we have here. I don't know if I've ever shown this snake on camera yet. But Kurt, if you want to come, we'll show you what we were seeing. And you can see up right here, first of all, on this rim, see that kind of shiny spot? That's some dried venom that also squirted through. And Ethan, if you want to come around, you found that spot. I'll get out of your way so you can go in there and you can show Kurt where you found the venom at before.
Right there.
Right there. And so you can see where it's kind of like wet. This is dried now. That is the bite. If you see that small gap at the top, that is actually where the venom squirted out and got all over my hand and all over the top. So she put out a massive amount of venom. Now let's show you this snake really quick, if we're ready. Let me get that tongue, Kurt, just in case this goes awry. So this would be the snake that just tried to bite me. Come check her out. I'm not going to pull her all the way out. She's obviously in a bad mood, but we'll get her up a little bit so you can see her. So this girl right here, look at the colors on that. Now she may look a little bit thin. She actually, for whatever reason, we hadn't had her very long, never bred them, but she did lay about 11 slugs in fertile egg sacs. So we're just getting her back up to weight after that ordeal. She's great for me and she's looking really good now. But yeah, that's the one that tried to bite me right there. And that's a big, big girl too. I wouldn't want to take a hit from any of them. Wouldn't want to take a hit from her. And you can see how much venom these guys are able to put out. So scary, scary stuff. A little bit. Glad I didn't have a cut. Anyway, a little surprise. I got a venom bath today. That is pretty neat. We'll wash that off in a minute. Did you just hear it bite at me again?
Yep.
Which one was it?
I didn't see it.
You keep an eye on that, because one of them is really trying to kill me today. And I felt it hit. That was the strangest thing. Alright, back to our little baby Prairie. So as you can see, if you look at his tail here, this is why I got the smaller hook, it's just easier to handle with that. It's got a few buttons on the rattle. You can actually hear it if you listen really close. You have to get in there really close, Kurt. Kurt's like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't want to get too close. It sounds really faint, a really light buzz. And every time it sheds, it gets a new butt. So they're born with a neonate button, but it can't make any noise till it has a second link. And so it's got, I think, 3 now. So it's been doing pretty good. But basically, we just wanted to show you our baby Prairie and let you meet Ethan, who helped us get our first Prairie, and consequently our babies as well, by pure accident. As a side note, I got sprayed with venom. That was a first. I've had a few close calls doing this, guys. Actually, none working with them like this. I've had a few close calls when I've been hunting the wild ones and things like that. But I've never been sprayed with actual venom. So that's a first. And you can see now it's like dry. Looks like snot almost, as gross as that sounds. But you know, I want you to know I'm not putting water on there or anything. Water wouldn't do that. You can see how it's drying and congealing. So that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I'm going to put this one back. I'm going to go wash off my hand. I don't have any open cuts that I know of, but if I were to leave it on there and cut myself and get in the end, it could cause me some problems. So I'm going to get that off, and then we'll put that Prairie back up, and we'll call it a night. Ethan, you got anything else to add?
Well, I was going to say about this Prairie Rattlesnake is that when I was hunting for them for this lady I was removing it for, it did strike at me before it rattled, which was, people say, you know, they're going to rattle before they strike, and no, that's not necessarily true because this one didn't. And so I thought that was pretty neat. Yes, I almost got bit, but I wasn't too worried about it because I saw it and I did catch it. And I brought it back home for you guys, so.
Very cool. So how was your blood pressure going when it struck at your boot?
I honestly wasn't too worried about it.
Oh, now don't be lying!
No, because
see, this is what happens when you put people on camera. Because I know from talking to him when that happened.
I think it's all the Oklahoma trips. It's not as bad.
It's not as bad. But when they strike at you and you don't see them, man, I can tell you it makes you nervous. My closest call is we were out looking for wild ones. And we were hiking down a hill, and Ethan was actually with me on this one. We hadn't seen any, and as we're hiking down, I take a step over some brush, and I hear it, and there was one right between my legs. There was a western diamondback between my legs, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I was like, no big deal, it was pretty freaky, man. I was pretty nervous. Unfortunately, if you've been around him, you know what to do. I just froze. I didn't move, and I waited till it went on its way, and then I was able to catch it, take some pictures, and do that kind of thing. So it was a really neat looking standard wild type rattlesnake. So it was pretty cool. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.